Dear fear, you do not control me. Dear fear, I control you. Dear fear, I will not stop what I want to do in my life. Dear fear, you are not the host of my life. You are not the host of my body. You are not the host of my thoughts. Dear fear, I will use you as motivation to get better. Dear fear, don't mess with me because I'll mess with you and you'll be suppressed. Dear fear, I know that you are inside of me and I know I'm going to fear things in my life, but I know fear means growth. Fear is an opportunity for growth. Fear is an opportunity to be better. Fear is an opportunity to be on another level. Fear is something that everyone experiences. Fear, I feel fear. I feel fear when I go out somewhere and meet new people. I feel fear when I'm doing something uncomfortable like making a speech. I feel fear even for making this video. I fear that I won't get enough views. I fear that I won't be successful on YouTube. I fear that I won't be successful in general. Well, guess what? I'm still gonna try. I'm still gonna do it anyways, because if I don't do it, I'm gonna have regret, and that for me is one of my is like the biggest fear ever, regret. So whenever I fear something, and whenever you fear something, it means that you need to do it. It means that you need to try it out. As long as it doesn't kill you, obviously, because we're smarter than that. Fear is, we can use it as an alert on our radar of our mind, telling us that it is an opportunity to get better, it's an opportunity for growth. So whenever you feel fear, fear of speaking, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, who cares, man? Just do it. Take action and do it. Because you never know what's on the other side. You never know what you can learn. Fear is an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Fear is an opportunity to challenge yourself. Fear can also be healthy, because when you tackle fear, you actually become mentally stronger. You might become physically stronger, because if you may have this fear of going up to your attempting more than your PR at the gym. But when you actually lift that weight, you're actually able to do it. You conquered that fear. You were scared you were going to get hurt. You were scared of failure. But when you actually did it, when you became successful at it, you feel so good about yourself. That's why we shouldn't let fear control us. We should look at fear as I said, an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to get better. We live in this world where we have fear of so many things around us. People are feeding us fear. Our parents are feeding us fear about just go to school, get a degree, get a 9-to-5 job. Because if you don't get a job, you're not going to have money. You're going to be broke. You might be on the streets. That's fear talking, bro. That's fear talking. You may have fear about the news. Oh, there's an up and coming war happening. You know, we might get attacked. You know, all this type of shit. All this type of stuff, right? Bro, it's meant to control you. It's meant to suppress you. All this types of, if you let fear get to you, you will always be just who you are. You won't be able to get better. You'll just be stuck. You will be stuck. You will, and when you get older, you'll realize that all that fears that I had in my head were just fabrications that were fed to me, or I just created it myself. I just created fear in my head. And I've struggled with this as well throughout my entire life. I created scenarios in my head about certain situations. You know, the worst case scenario, and it never ends up happening. It never ends up being in that situation. But I create the scenarios, and then it stops me from actually doing something. It actually stops me from achieving certain things, because I have this fear, all this fear in my head. But I realized that once I actually just start doing things and not thinking too much about what's going to happen next, then I feel better about myself. And then I'm able to harness that fear and use it as motivation. I have been scared many times in my life. I have been scared to move to a new country, meet new people, live in a country where nobody speaks the same language as I do. But I still did it anyways. I had a fear of skydiving, but I did it anyways. And it made me feel so much better about myself and more confident. I have so many fears before of talking to a girl that I thought was cute, but I approached her anyways just to see what's up, you know, and whether I got rejected or not, and I did get rejected, it doesn't matter because I learned something from that, and I developed a skill of harnessing my fear and going for it. Recently, I went into a full contact karate tournament, right, in Japan, and it was my first time doing something like this, performing by myself in front of hundreds and hundreds of people in a fight with someone else. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous. It was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my entire life. But I managed to perform, and I won that match, and I felt so good about myself, and I felt so confident. It was such a great feeling, despite the fact that I was so nervous. And that actually made me love, the sport of martial arts as well, when I was able to do something like that in front of so many people. So that's why I'm saying it's very important to take on fear and don't let it control you, because honestly it'll really stop you from becoming a better person. It'll stop you from leveling up in life, and dude, who cares if you will fail, man? Who cares if you fail? As you learn something from it, you learn something about yourself, so who cares? If you may get embarrassed in your life, right? Fear of embarrassment. You may be walking outside trying to talk to someone or trying to network with somebody, or a girl or whatever, and then you approach them and then you get rejected by her friends. Her friends look at you and you get embarrassed. Who cares, man? Just walk away. It's just you move on with your life. But I think a lot of us, we just sit down and we think of all the worst case situations in our head, and we overthink certain things, and that's fear talking. That is honestly fear talking. And I honestly believe that there is a certain entity that is with us that influences our thoughts, that creates fear in our hearts, fear in our mind of so many different things, and it limits us. It limits us from getting better. It limits us from doing better. So we need to be able to fight it off. We need to stay mentally tough. We need to stay mentally strong and realize that fear is just a fabrication in our head. We need to take it head on, whatever we're trying to do in life. Just go straight forward, head on, 100 miles per hour. If you want to change careers, from one, say if you're a teacher, you want to change into trades, go for it. Don't be so scared about the outcome. Just do it, because you learn something from it. That's the most important thing, is that you learn something from it. If it wasn't for you, it wasn't for you. Who cares? But you wouldn't have known if you didn't try, right? And fear has a way of becoming contagious. Fear grows on you. You start fearing one thing, and then everything else you start fearing. Just look at how, after 9/11, how Muslims were treated. Americans feared us. They feared Muslims, right? They feared all of us, right? And it started with just the news, and then it just fabricated towards everyone started fearing, that religion, those people. So, if we don't start controlling how we look at fear, and we don't start doing something about fear, we don't let it, we start doing something, we start pushing forward, then we notice change. We notice that it wasn't so bad to begin with, that it wasn't what we thought it would be. And our brain cannot tell the difference between a real scary fight or flight, life or death situation, or something that's not. So we need to be the ones to control that. We need to be the ones to look at it, be more aware, self-aware, right, of what type of fear are we feeling and why we're feeling it. We need to question ourselves. Why do I feel this way? Is what's the worst that could happen? Right? And chances are it's not gonna be that bad. And usually never is. I think our ego also affects our and fear go hand in hand. We don't want to do certain things because we don't want our ego or identity of who we are to get affected. So we stop doing, or we don't do certain things. We don't pursue another career because our parents or our education has taught us to follow this certain path. So if I go this certain path, or if I follow this, or if I look into this belief system, because I've been taught something else my entire life, I have this fear that I will lose myself as a person. I have this fear that people will hate me or they'll look at me differently and stuff like that. Whether they do or they don't, who cares? What matters is what you want to do in your life. What matters is that you are taking charge of your life. You're not letting fear control your every single outcome and decision in your life. Because I'm telling you, when you get older, you honestly start running out of time. You start running out of opportunities. You start running out of the time you have left to chase whatever you want in life. You may still have the opportunity, but you don't have that much time left. That's the reality. And as you get older, time goes by faster. Time speeds up. So it's very important to really look at fear as a tool, or use it as motivation to just move forward in life. Look at fear as a learning opportunity, as I said in the beginning of this video. And I promise you, your life will start to change once you take control of yourself, once you take control of how you look at fear, how you view fear. That's the end of the video. Thank you.